The first question is that why is it important to focus on women startups and incubation centers?
Women are not feeling that comfortable even to talk about that. I don't know, maybe it's a kind of some psychological thing. I teach a lot of public speaking for women, and they don't want to talk about money. They say, okay, Olga, this is what I'm doing. This is my job. I can help people. And they don't say it will cost so and so. And then when you meet a woman who was from a wealthy family and something happened with her husband, or something happened, she's with 3-4 kids and she doesn't have any money, that is shocking, because I talked to some in the women's shelters in Kazakhstan, in different countries, and it's unbelievable. How can somebody be left at the age of 40, 45 years with 3-4 kids with zero money and with zero financial knowledge? And I think this is a very crucial point, just to explain to women that even if we are very good and we want to help the humanity, there should be some basic knowledge about money. Let's say if you have 4 kids, you should know how much does it cost to put them to school, to kindergarten, to give them education. So you need to make a plan. And if you give some services, you're a teacher, you are the owner of the business, you need to get profit. And there is nothing shameful in that. When you talk with man and he's the owner of the company, immediately he will say, my profit is so, I'm very famous man. Women, they try to escape that topic. They don't want to talk. They don't mention it. When I talk with them, they will say, Olga, we will make everything for you free of charge. And I think there should be some incubators. There should be some places where they should be taught how to generate money. Otherwise, they will be left with many kids alone with any knowledge. They will be not 20 anymore. They will be already old. And it will be, like shocking experience for them.
Financial independence is giving you power to make decisions. If women are not in the decision-making power, most of the decisions are being made for them by men. So if women have money, it's the broad thing. If women have money, they can lobby for the causes that are very closer to them. So this is one thing. And even if it comes to the family or the community, you never know. One day, the women money can be the lifeline of our family. So it's important that we should have some ways to give these women some special training, because having skills is different, and having a mindset that can turn that skill into a very nice business, and also how to make money out of your skill is totally different.
When we have cash and when you have access, this is much more important for me, is that the women, especially in emerging countries, they have access to finance these products, because sometimes they just cannot have access to this, and this is also a problem, a technological problem, or a problem of educating these people. But what I would like to share with all the women here in the panel, that women need, not just that they don't dare to share about, asking for support or financial support, they need to be trained. I've been facing this, I'm facing this, to really discuss, finance with men, with investors. Mainly of investors are men today, and discussing really, and convincing men to invest in your startup. It's a job. It's something that you really need to learn. And not just being an entrepreneur, but it's really something that women have to learn how to do. I have learned, and this is really something I would like to share with all of you. It's like, negotiating. Some surveys, global surveys, show that women are not as good as men in negotiating. I'm sure that they would be as good as men or even better, but they just need to have access to the being educated and being this knowledge. So this is really very important. You need to know how to prepare your file, how to see investors, how to sell your projects, and this is something that you need to acquire. You need to learn. So my initiatives are really launched for everyone. We have now gathered really many women and many people around the world. And also what I've seen is that in developing countries, so many women are eager to start their business, where we are talking about very clear figures. We are in 20% of women in emerging countries that really started their business to 4% in developed countries. What does this mean? It means that they are really, of course, eager to jump on their new business. They are not afraid of leaving a comfort zone because they are not in a comfort zone. So the people like we are here around this panel, we really need to create a bridge towards between the emerging countries and us to be able to share this knowledge. And like this, we can be really stronger.
Women are becoming key players in the world economy. So as you know, as producers, employers, and business owners in Saudi Arabia, for example, I think women own 10% of real estate in major cities and have an estimated cash of $12 billion. And that's, you know, and 75%, I think it's 75% of that, which is totally like sitting idle in cash. So this potential is limited by an inappropriate educational background, a lack of role models, and the gendering of entrepreneurship, a low social status, competing demands on time associated with family responsibilities, and limited access to finance. So business incubators and accelerators can play an important role in the entrepreneurship ecosystem by not only offering training, services, but also connecting women business owners to opportunities and resources that may help them overcome various challenges that limit business development and growth. And this is very key for us because program offerings can include workspace, mentoring, technical assistance, and networking with potential investors, customers, and suppliers, you know. So some recent studies actually, they found that entrepreneurs who participate in a top performing accelerator perform better than those that did not participate in an accelerator in areas such as raising capital, exiting by acquisition, and acquiring customers.
If you imagine, like in developing country, there are a lot of women, if they get a ready-made projects, like it's somewhere related to textile, somewhere related to agriculture, somewhere related to tech. So how easy will become the life of a woman?
I have benefited from the profits of being having a business idea, being connected with sort-minded business people, and being given the chance to have the whole project or the whole project, the whole path actually stipulated for you, which means that you're going to have guidance from a chamber of commerce, of business angels, investors, of accountants, of consultants. So this type of networks have actually helped me to connect with a lot of same-minded people and people in the industry. So I am a real supporter and a fan of business networks of same-minded people. Women organizations are also parties which in the Netherlands I've been part of, have learned me a lot and have made me actually conscious of who I am, what I am, what can I achieve. And basically it's all starting from being able to get the trust in the idea you have, to get the support, and from there sky's the limit. This is my personal experience, and I am a complete promoter of all those initiatives which give the possibility of women to develop further.
So if you become the prime minister or president of your country, so what you would like to do, how you support women startups and incubation? What is your policy framework?
I will teach women, number one, negotiation, because we women, we don't want anybody die. We don't want our husbands die. We don't want our kids die. And if you will go arm out and somebody will cut your head or your hand or will do it for your relative, you cannot even think about business or about something else. One of the reasons why I created Hidden Beauty Club, this is a club in UAE only for women, to put different nationalities. I have people from Ukraine, from Russia, from Saudi Arabia, and from Qatar sitting together. You will think this is incredible, but this is the only way to survive. Number 2 is to be friends. Number 3 is to be able to talk. Number 4, to negotiate. Number 5, money. Okay, let's put money because we're in money conference. Number 2, number 3. If we put all this together, putting all these women together, then it will be like a bridge for our, male leaders to communicate. I think anyone who is able to stop the war, he's a hero for me.
My first thought will be in the morning when I go to office to have 50% of women on my cabinet. That will change the first important thing, that women are not equally being represented. I'm just taking, like, if I have all the power, if I could do that, I'm not sure how many women are with me already who have made me the president, right? So that's one thing. Another thing is going to be the infrastructure of small towns, where women empowerment is very important. And without infrastructure, proper roads, and internet connectivity, fast internet connectivity, women empowerment will not be possible. And another thing would be to make sure that we will have those laws that give women fair share from their father's property. So later on, it can become their parental property. Right now, in my country, very few women own properties.
Focus on 4 primary areas that that have a call for action for women: education, entrepreneurship, social inclusion, and innovation. I think my aim would be to educate, equip, and empower women and girls with the necessary skills and confidence to succeed in their career fields. Because the issue of women empowerment in tech is of major importance. I worked myself in the financial sector. There was a lot of disparities, gender gap in pay and everything. That still exists, and this is in the Western world. So I would change that with laws. I would look to close the gender gap, to help women embrace technology, and within the incubators, and startups actually pass some laws for tolerance against discrimination, gender, sexual orientation, religion, culture, and an overall respect.
Teach to, especially to girls, to young girls from their very young age, the fact that they can have access, to male-orientated studies if they want to. So I really would like to give this access in culture. So if they want to study science, or if they want to study, technology, they can. So this is for me very, very important. It's not, this is for boys, you cannot do this. If they want to become engineers, they have to. From my long experience in telecom, in ICT, I think that the key for me is really to give access to ICT to women. This is the key, because if you have access to ICT, you have access to knowledge. If you have access to knowledge, you can really learn, and you can really develop yourself. And then I've seen that there are really very clear studies that show that women who have the access to tech studies, they even embrace them much better than men.
We have here laws which are already financially encouraging hiring women, which has been unemployed for a long period of time, or women who have children and has been also employed for a long period of time. There are a lot of groups which are actually in not such fortunate position, women included for some cases, starting with education and encouraging the whole path of achieving goals up to the point of a network being set up and developed, that you have access to all those services.